can tell you honestly that I have been disappointed. I have been let down. I've watched the world basically spin on its axle and turn its back on me because of DAngelo.
DAngelo might be your favorite, but you may never look at him the same way again after learning how he may have sabotaged his own career. He was doing incredibly well and headed straight to the top. But after his second album, Voodoo, DAngelo reportedly couldn't handle the fame and pressure. Things got worse when the industry turned him into a S symbol. From there, everything started going downhill. Substance abuse, legal issues like allegedly soliciting a prostitute, which hurt his image even more.
When people zoom in on you to bring about their pain, they don't care how they hurt you to get it done.
Then came drama with his label, a rocky relationship with Angie Stone.
I have been let down. I've watched the world basically spin on its axle and turn its back on me because of DAngelo.
And even disappearing from the public eye for over 10 years. It was all shades of crazy. There's a lot to unpack, so let's dive in deeper. DAngelo became very famous after his first album, Brown Sugar, came out. People loved his music, and the album did very well. He went on tour for 2 years to promote it, but after that, something changed. DAngelo started to have a hard time writing songs. He got what people call writer's block. This means he wanted to write music, but nothing came out. He later said that songs come from real life, and to write songs, you have to live life first. That's how deep and real his music was to him. He didn't want to just make music to sell it. He wanted it to mean something.
96 to 99, that was probably the most drumming that I've ever done in a studio setting.
After a long wait, in the year 2000, DAngelo finally released his second album called Voodoo. It came out on Virgin Records. Critics loved this album. Many people said it was even better than Brown Sugar. They called it a masterpiece. The songs were strong and the music was smooth and deep. One song, untitled, How Does It Feel, became very popular.
I just want you, man.
The music video for that song helped make it even more famous. In the video, DAngelo was shirtless, and the camera showed him from the hips up. He looked fit and shiny. Many women loved the video, and it made DAngelo into a sex symbol. Billboard magazine said the video was full of desire and sex appeal. After the album came out, DAngelo started his second big tour. It was called the Voodoo Tour. The tour lasted almost 8 months. Some nights he performed for 3 hours straight. People paid $49 to $79 for tickets, and most shows sold out fast. The tour was very successful, but it also came with problems. Many female fans would scream for him to take off his clothes during the show. Some women even threw clothes onto the stage. This upset DAngelo a lot. He felt like people were not listening to his music anymore. They just wanted to see his body. This made him angry. Sometimes he would break things on stage. He wanted people to respect his art, not just his looks. Questlove, who was the drummer on the tour, saw what DAngelo was going through. He said it was hard for DAngelo. Women kept shouting, and it became too much. DAngelo would get so frustrated that he would act out on and off the stage. He wasn't happy with how things were going. At some shows, he wouldn't even sing. He would cancel performances because he didn't feel ready. Sometimes, he said he needed to do stomach crunches before he could go on stage. He thought he didn't look good enough. He believed people only cared about how he looked in the untitled video, not about the music he made. Questlove shared that DAngelo was very unsure of himself. He would look in the mirror and say, "I don't look like the video." Some nights, they had to delay the show for more than an hour because DAngelo wasn't feeling okay in his mind or body. Many concerts got canceled. Even though DAngelo was a star, he didn't feel good inside. Questlove said DAngelo was lost in a world of fame that didn't match who he really was. He didn't feel understood. People just wanted him to take off his clothes, and he hated that. If DAngelo knew what the video would do to him, Questlove believed he wouldn't have made it. Questlove also said he didn't get paid fully for the work he did on the Voodoo album. This showed there were problems not just with DAngelo's feelings, but also with business matters behind the scenes. DAngelo had a hard time handling the fame, pressure, and even money issues. After the success of Voodoo, DAngelo became quiet. He stayed away from the music scene. People around him said the video and the tour pushed him too far. He didn't want to be seen as just a body. He wanted people to hear his music and understand his soul. But the fame he got from Untitled made him feel like a product instead of an artist. That kind of pressure was heavy. He no longer felt free to just make music. Many artists struggle when the world sees them in a way they don't like. For DAngelo, it was being turned into a sex symbol. He didn't sign up for that. He wanted to be known for his voice and his music, not for how he looked. This battle inside him made it hard to keep working. He pulled away from the spotlight. He stopped performing and stayed out of public view for a long time. People didn't know what happened to him, but behind the scenes, he was dealing with pain and confusion.
Those kinds of performers come along once every other generation.
In the early 2000s, DAngelo had a hard time with alcohol and drugs. These problems made it difficult for him to work on music. He found it hard to record songs and perform on stage. People close to him, like Questlove, said the pressure to stay successful made things worse.
In Voodoo, I quickly realized that this was not Brown Sugar Part 2. It was very much a different kind of record, and that this was an artist who really had something substantial about what he was trying to do musically.
In 2001, his close friend Fred Jordan died by suicide. This made DAngelo very sad, and he started drinking more. As his drinking got worse, he had to cancel a live album and another music project. The record company also stopped giving him money for a new album. By 2005, many things in DAngelo's life had fallen apart. His girlfriend left him. His lawyer was unhappy with him. Most of his family stopped talking to him. He also split from his manager and tour manager. That same year, he got into trouble with the law. He was arrested for driving under the influence and for having marijuana. Later, he checked into a rehab center in Antigua to get help. That same year, he left Virgin Records and signed with J Records. There were rumors he might sign with Bad Boy Records, but he didn't. Even though he didn't release any solo music at the time, he still worked with other artists. He appeared on albums with J Dilla, Snoop Dogg, Common, and Q-Tip. But his personal life kept getting worse. In January 2005, he was arrested again, this time for cocaine and marijuana. Around this time, photos came out showing him looking unhealthy and much heavier than before. He looked very different from how he looked during the Voodoo days. A few months after his problems with the law, things got even worse for DAngelo. He was in Virginia when he got into a bad car accident. He was riding in his Hummer, a big truck, when it went off the road and crashed into a fence. The truck hit hard and DAngelo was thrown out of it. He got badly hurt and had to stay in the hospital for several days. People said he had been using drugs or alcohol when it happened. A woman was with him in the car. She was also hurt. Reports said she was driving because DAngelo had lost his driver's license after getting arrested for driving under the influence earlier. This crash made things worse for him. Around that same time, he went to court and got a 3-year suspended sentence for a drug charge. That meant he didn't go to jail right away, but if he got in trouble again, he could end up in prison. His personal life was also falling apart. Angie Stone, a woman he had dated, said people in the music world started blaming her for his problems. She said letters went around saying she was the one who got him into drugs and alcohol. Angie didn't think DAngelo knew about these letters, but she believed someone on his team sent them to protect his image. By 2005, DAngelo was in a very bad place. He wasn't talking to his family anymore. He was using drugs often and didn't look like the music star people once loved. His life was falling apart, and even his house was in trouble. In May 2006, the bank was going to take it away and sell it because he could not pay for it. Some people thought the car accident would change him, but it didn't. He kept going down the wrong path. Then, in 2006, something sad happened. His close friend, music producer Jay Dilla, died at just 32 years old. This shocked DAngelo and made him realize he needed help. He wanted to go to a rehab center called Crossroads, which was started by musician Eric Clapton. But the place cost $40,000, and he didn't have the money. That's when his friend Gary Harris helped him. Gary worked in the music business and knew someone powerful named Irving Azoff. Irving didn't know DAngelo, but he liked his music. Irving decided to help and wrote a check to pay for rehab. DAngelo stayed there for 1 month. In 2007, he signed a deal with a new record company, hoping to fix his career. But in 2010, he got in trouble again. One early morning, he got arrested in New York City. It happened around 2:30 a.m. in the West Village. He was driving alone in a fancy Range Rover. Police said he saw a woman on the street and thought she was a prostitute. He stopped and offered her $40 for oral sex. But the woman was really an undercover police officer. After he made the offer, she arrested him. Police also found $12,000 in cash inside his SUV. This was shocking to many people. This was not the first time he had problems with the police. Back in November 2002, a woman said DAngelo drove in front of her at a shopping mall. She said he cursed at her and even spit on her. When the police went to his house in Richmond, he did not listen to them. They had to pepper spray him to arrest him. It was a bad look for someone who was once seen as a star. On top of his legal problems, DAngelo also had fights with his music managers. They didn't agree on how his career should go. He wanted one thing, and they wanted something else. These fights made things even worse for him. He was not making music like before, and fans were getting tired of waiting. It was sad to see. DAngelo had so much talent. People expected great things from him, but instead, he kept running into trouble. Getting arrested, fighting with managers, and not releasing music made people wonder what happened to him. His manager didn't say anything after the arrest. Maybe they didn't know what to say. Many fans just hoped he would get help and come back strong. But with all these problems, his future in music looked uncertain. DAngelo was just 19 years old when he met Angie.
There's no hiding place when someone...
Well, DAngelo and I got connected by way of Jocelyn Cooper, who was signing us both as songwriters.
He had dropped out of high school and was trying to become a musician. Angie was 31 and sang in a group called Vertical Hold. Even though they were from different worlds, they connected. It's not clear when they started dating, but once they became a couple, their relationship moved fast.
He pursued me. I did not pursue him. I thought he was older than what he was because he had an old soul. And anybody that's hanging around him long enough will attest to that is the truth.
He didn't always believe in himself, and he had low self-esteem. In 1995, DAngelo helped write a song called Pray for Angie's group. After that, Vertical Hold broke up. Angie was his muse. Even though he didn't write songs directly about her, her love and support inspired his music. They were so close that they started to act like each other. They even copied each other's music style and habits.
We just hit it off musically because we were both from the South, and I think it was something familiar about our energy that clicked.
Still, Angie said DAngelo could be controlling. He didn't like her talking to other men, and he was very jealous. She told a magazine that he didn't want her to even turn her head when they were driving, because he didn't want her looking around. But Angie said she never gave him a reason to be jealous. She was loyal to him. After DAngelo signed with EMI Records, his song, You Will Know, was added to the Jason's Lyric movie soundtrack. It was sung by a group called Black Men United. Soon after, DAngelo got to work on his first album, Brown Sugar. Angie helped him a lot during that time. She said she helped him come up with the songs Jones in My Bones and Cruisin'.
Baby, let's cruise away from here.
She even braided his hair to make him look good for the album cover. When the album came out in July 1995, people finally noticed how handsome DAngelo was. Angie said people started asking how someone who looked like him could be with someone who looked like her. It hurt her feelings, but their relationship stayed strong. In 1996, they went to an event where DAngelo was being honored. But as they were driving to the event, the car stopped. DAngelo was asked to ride in another car with actress Vivica A. Fox. Angie had to walk behind them while photographers took pictures. She said it felt like a Hollywood moment, and not in a good way.
I can tell you honestly that I have been disappointed. I have been let down. I have watched the world basically spin on its axle and turn its back on me because of DAngelo.
Things got worse. At Madonna's birthday party, she asked DAngelo to sing to her. People said she sat on his lap and kissed him in front of everyone. Angie knew DAngelo loved her, but the gossip in the media hurt her. People said DAngelo was only with her for other reasons, like fame or money, because she was older and bigger. Angie called that time in her life very painful. She said it was a cruel reality. DAngelo began to tour and work on new music. He felt tired and confused about what to do next. Then, in 1997, everything changed when Angie gave birth to their son, Michael Archer II. DAngelo said that moment gave him new energy and love. He was no longer stuck with writer's block. He and Angie even wrote a song together for their son called Send It On.
Send it up, send it
But even with a child between them, their love could not survive. Angie said they broke up not long after their son was born. It took a few more years for them to fully walk away. She told a magazine that neither of them wanted to be the first to say goodbye. That same year, DAngelo had a baby girl named Imani with another woman, a model named Marcia Daly. Angie said that's when she found the strength to finally let go. She said their relationship was full of heartbreak, lies, and stress. She gave her life to God and decided not to go back to something that was already broken. In December 2014, DAngelo released his third studio album called Black Messiah.
Take a toke of smoke from me as you dream inside.
At first, he wanted to release the album in 2015, but after the events in Ferguson and the Eric Garner case, he felt it was time to speak up through music. So, he released the album earlier. These events upset many people in America, and DAngelo felt his music could help express some of that pain and anger. Just before the album came out, his manager, Kevin Liles, posted a short video teaser on YouTube. It was only 15 seconds long, but it got people excited. Fans had been waiting a long time for new music from DAngelo. He hadn't released a studio album in years, so this was a big moment. Many music critics liked Black Messiah. Some even said it reminded them of a famous 1971 album called There's a Riot Going On by Sly and the Family Stone. That album was also about social problems and change. Critics said both albums had strong messages and deep sounds. The music was not simple. It had many layers, including funk, rock, jazz, and gospel. DAngelo's voice was mixed in many ways, giving the songs a powerful feeling.
So what are you conveying? What do you hope to convey with that?
Sensitivity.
Yeah.
Affection.
Yeah. Because your range is so cold.
Oh, thank you.
John Pareles from the New York Times said that DAngelo's album had unpredictable music and showed off his unique style. He said the album had the same kind of feeling as old funk and soul music, but it still felt new and different. Another writer, Andy Gill from The Independent, said the album was interesting but a bit confusing. He said the songs raised big questions about freedom and politics, but didn't always give answers. The New York Times also said that Black Messiah showed the anger and pain in America at that time. The paper compared DAngelo's music to other artists like Funkadelic and Jay Dilla. They said his songs had strange, uneven rhythms that still pulled people in. Even though not everyone agreed on what the songs meant, most people agreed that DAngelo's talent was clear. Music critic Robert Christgau thought other writers made the album sound deeper than it really was. He said they talked too much about how the album dealt with race and love. Still, he respected DAngelo's work and style. On February 14, 2021, DAngelo surprised fans by going live on Instagram. He said he would perform at the Apollo Theater on February 27, 2021. The show was part of the Versus series, which usually had music battles between two artists. But this show was different. It was called DAngelo vs. Friends. There was no battle, just DAngelo performing with guests like Method Man, Redman, H.E.R., and Keon Harold. It was a special night filled with music and love. Later that year, on June 10, 2021, DAngelo performed again in New York City at the Tribeca Film Festival. He joined a special show for the video game Red Dead Redemption 2. He sang his song Unshaken, which he had made for the game in 2019. DAngelo played guitar and sang, joined by other talented musicians like Daniel Lanois, Rhiannon Giddens, and members of his band. The crowd enjoyed the mix of video game music and live performance. In 2024, DAngelo came back again. He worked with Jay-Z on a song called I Want You Forever. The song was part of the movie The Book of Clarence. Later in the year, music producer Raphael Saadiq said DAngelo was doing well and was working on a new album. This gave fans hope for more new music soon. In an older interview from 1995, DAngelo talked about the singer Prince. He said Prince inspired him a lot. Prince wrote, produced, and performed his own music, and DAngelo wanted to do the same. He also said hip-hop groups like Tribe Called Quest and Gang Starr influenced his sound. He loved the feeling and message in their music. In another interview in 1999, DAngelo said his music came from what he felt deep inside. He said his visit to South Carolina helped him understand more about music and himself. He said he listened to gospel, blues, soul, James Brown, early Sly Stone, and Jimi Hendrix. That trip helped him see where he wanted to go as an artist. DAngelo's journey was full of music, learning, and deep feelings. His music told stories, asked questions, and connected with people in a real way.